everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you're staying safe and I hope you're adapting to the change that the COVID-19 pandemic has brought upon everyone. It's better that we try to adapt to the change even as it is coming so that we can stay happy, keep our mental health intact and be good. So on today's episode, I'm giving us some tips for menstrual pain. Quite a number of ladies experience this pain during their menstrual cycle, which comes up once every month, and it slows down a lot of things for some ladies. It reduces their productivity, and interestingly, it might just require some little lifestyle modification or probably some little mistakes that we are making during this period, or probably some things we really need to adopt during this period. So stay with me as I'll be giving us some tips for menstrual pain. Okay, so before I go on with these tips, we're going to be doing a little bit of science. It's good that we have an idea of what actually goes on in our body so that by the time we are taking to these tips, we can be able to think about it and relate everything together. So stay with me, don't worry, I'll make it as basic as possible for every one of us to have an understanding. So I won't be boring us with some of these medical grammar and all of that, but don't worry, I'll try to make it as easy as possible for us to follow and understand. Menstrual cramps is caused by a chemical that is released from the uterine lining when it prepares to shed, and the name of this chemical is referred to as prostaglandins. Although it's a normal part of the process, but then when this is in excess, it can result into pain. This same chemical, that is prostaglandin, is also involved in pain and inflammatory triggers. Inflammation, that is swelling, redness, flare. Also, sometimes when the uterus contracts really strongly, it might reduce blood flow or even oxygen to the muscle tissues, and this might result in pain. Some ladies also experience something we call the period bloating, that is a feeling of heavy or swollen abdomen before or just at the start of their period. Sometimes menstrual cramps and menstrual pain can also be as a result of some underlying medical condition. Now let's move to the tips for menstrual pain. Okay, number one, we have the heat therapy. The heat therapy helps to relax the muscles of the uterus such that it increases blood flow to the muscle tissue and then it reduces pain. So you see why we needed to know about the science. Now you can relate the science and the solution together. You see, no knowledge is a waste. There are different ways in which we can go about the heat therapy. Number one, you can take a warm bath, or you can actually put a towel in a warm water or hot water. Then you palm this hot towel on the lower abdomen, or you can also use heating pads. Then you can also use ice packs. So you can try whether to use the heat therapy or using the cold packs. So anyone that goes better for you or anyone you're comfortable with, you can go with any of that. Now let's move to diet. You can see that diet really cuts across a lot of things in health. There's basically nothing we might actually have to talk about that we might not include diet. So now you see, when we used to do mathematics in those days, there's something we call the Venn diagram. So like in the Venn diagram, there's always this thing at the center that connects the three or all the circles together. So that's what diet does. You remember I talked about the fact that it might just be some lifestyle modification that we really need to change or take up some new lifestyle modification during our periods. You can take omega-3 fatty acids such as those found in fish oil. They can help to lower inflammation. Also, during your periods, try to reduce the intake of fatty foods, because fatty foods can increase the number of prostaglandins and this can make the cramping worse. And try to reduce the intake of processed foods during your periods, because there are some food additives in processed foods that can make cramping worse, and also trans fat in processed foods can also increase inflammation, making cramping worse. Having a lot of dairy products during your periods is not the best idea. Example of this dairy product is cheese, milk and ice cream. I have a video where I expressly explain and give examples of trans fat and saturated fat. You can check the link to this video in the description below, or you can just click up here. So we must have heard words like don't take sugar during your period, take little sugar during your period, and so many other things. That's because sugar is inflammatory and it can make cramping worse, especially refined sugar. Refined sugar can make the body to retain more water and sodium, leading to bloating. Remember, the fact that we talked about bloating at the beginning of this video, so you can relate everything together now. Then try to cut down on caffeine. Coffee is not advisable during your period because it can also make cramping worse. Yeah, chocolates can increase the prostaglandin levels, and this can also increase cramping. So it might look like I've been saying don't eat this, don't eat that during your period, and you're like, what else can I eat during my period? There's no need to panic. Eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. Then you can also eat balanced diet, just that you cut down on caffeine, cut down on fatty food, cut down on so many other food I talk about. I'm sure that taking at most 7 days break on all of this food would not do us any harm, and it's not even make us die because we'll still be living, so it won't really change anything. And it's not bad for us to actually make at least a sacrifice of 7 days not to take this food. Then you can also take ginger tea. Ginger helps to relieve cramps. You can just grate a little bit of ginger and then soak it in warm water, and then you can have a warm cramp relieving ginger drink. Then try as much as possible to manage stress properly during this period. I have a video on stress management, so you can check the video in the description below. I've dropped the link to this video in the description below. Then exercise. I know that exercising might be the last thing somebody who is in pain would want to do, but then if you can also try to move your body and try to stand up and move your arms, you can try to do a little bit of exercise. Of course, strenuous exercise is not beneficial for someone who is in pain. Exercise can help to release some chemicals in the body, and these chemicals are like the natural pain relievers. Then finally, the use of medication. So you can go to a pharmacy to get medications for your menstrual cramps. So in the light of taking medication, some people use hormonal contraceptives to help them relieve menstrual pain. Although hormonal contraceptives can be used to relieve menstrual pain, but then I would strongly advise that before you go on to take hormonal contraceptives to relieve menstrual pain, make sure you seek a medical advice from your doctor or your pharmacist so that you can be properly guided on how to use it properly, so that it will not on the long run cause more harm than good. If you still experience severe pain even after taking over-the-counter medications and these remedies I talked about, it's advisable for you to see a medical personnel. Remember, I talked about the fact that some underlying medical conditions can result in menstrual pain. It might just be one of these underlying medical conditions, so which is why it's important to see a medical personnel as soon as possible. So if this content was very helpful for you, don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe, and you can also share this video to educate one person so that one person educates the other. See you next time. Bye.